There are whispers in the corridors of power, conversations that never make the news, deals that are sealed behind closed doors where no cameras are allowed. Something is moving, something that few can see but many will soon feel. In the heart of this quiet storm stands India, no longer the silent observer but a rising force pulling the attention of secret players across the globe. While most are distracted by the surface noise, the real story is unfolding where only a few dare to look. Alliances are being formed, not in the open but in shadows, not with loud announcements but with silent nods. The question is no longer whether India will rise. The question is, who is already behind it, pushing quietly, backing relentlessly, because they have seen what others are still too blind to notice. These silent alliances are not born out of kindness or obligation. No, they are formed out of strategic vision, out of calculated bets on a future where India is not just participating but leading. The world's sharpest minds, the world's most calculated investors, they do not move on emotion. They move on patterns, on possibilities, on strength. And they have seen something in India that has made them take positions in silence. They have placed their trust, their resources, their influence behind a power that is no longer waiting for permission to rise. It is happening now. It is happening quietly. While many are still asking if India can, others have already decided that India will. And this is the moment where you must understand, when the world begins to shift in your favor, when unseen forces start working for you, you cannot walk with hesitation. You must walk with certainty. You must move with the confidence of one who knows that the tide has already turned, because the world does not wait for those who doubt themselves. The world moves quickly to those who are ready, and readiness is not about having everything figured out. Readiness is about believing that you can stand in the spaces where the world's attention is starting to gather. India is stepping into those spaces, and behind that step, there are silent pushes from unexpected allies. Nations that once stood distant now lean in. Investors who once watched cautiously now invest heavily. Innovators who once overlooked now collaborate eagerly. And yet, on the surface, many do not see it. On the surface, many still question, still hesitate, still look for signs. But the signs are not in the headlines. The signs are in the quiet moves, in the closed-door partnerships, in the unspoken agreements that are already reshaping what is possible. When you are backed by forces you cannot see, you must learn to trust the ground beneath your feet. You must walk as though you are already supported, because you are. You must move as though the wind is already behind you, because it is. The shift is not coming, the shift has come, and those who have placed their bets on India are not playing for today. They are playing for the decades to come. They are not interested in quick wins. They are building something bigger, something that will stand long after the noise fades. And here is where you must look closely. The most powerful forces in the world rarely shout. They rarely announce their moves. They build quietly, steadily, patiently. They look for strength that endures. They look for resilience that does not crack under pressure. And they have found that in India, not just in the economy, not just in the technology, but in the spirit of the people, in the refusal to quit, in the ability to rise again and again, even when the odds seemed impossible. This is what the silent backers have seen. They have seen the hunger, they have seen the grit, they have seen a nation that does not crumble when it is doubted, but instead sharpens itself. And now they align themselves with that spirit, with that momentum. They do it quietly, because real power moves quietly. And now India must move forward with the understanding that it is not walking alone. Invisible hands are opening doors. Hidden allies are making room. And the question is, are you walking fast enough to step through those doors before they close? Because opportunity does not stand still. The world's attention does not wait, and those who hesitate will watch the moment pass them by. But not you, not now. You must rise with the moment. You must rise with the power that is already moving in your favor. You must walk as though you are already backed by the greatest forces on earth, because you are. Even if you cannot see them yet, they are moving, they are aligning, they are betting on you, And this is what you must remember. You are not waiting for someone to save you. You are not waiting for someone to give you permission. You are walking forward because the future is already tilting in your direction. The secret alliances have already been made. The hands have already been shaken. The future is not uncertain. It is unfolding, and it is unfolding for those who are bold enough to claim it, to walk into it, to rise with it. The power is already behind you. Now is the time to move. In the quiet spaces where decisions shape the world, architects of change are already at work. They do not seek the spotlight, nor do they announce their strategies to the masses. They build in silence, they design in shadows, and their fingerprints are found not in public statements, but in the silent shifts that change the direction of history. They have turned their focus toward India, not because they have been told to, but because they see what others fail to see. They see a force that cannot be stopped, a momentum that cannot be ignored. While the world watches the obvious players, the true architects of global power have chosen their next foundation. And it is not a coincidence. It is a signal that India is no longer a bystander but a central figure in the story that is yet to fully unfold. The quiet architects are not always governments. Sometimes they are visionary entrepreneurs, bold investors, pioneering technologists, and relentless innovators. Sometimes they are the builders of tomorrow's industries, the creators of tomorrow's wealth, the protectors of tomorrow's security. They move their resources where they see growth, where they see resilience, where they see the ability to endure storms that would break weaker nations. And they have chosen to move toward India, but they move without noise because noise is not their language. Their language is progress. Their language is results. Their language is building. They are not here for charity. They are here because they have done the math. They have studied the people, the spirit, the determination. They know that India's growth is not an accident. It is the result of centuries of struggle, decades of rebuilding, and years of silent perseverance. They know that behind every statistic, behind every breakthrough, behind every leap forward, there is a story of resilience, a story of sacrifice, a story of people who refuse to quit. That is why they are here. That is why they are betting on India, because they know that India is not just chasing progress. It is creating it. But here's the question that matters now. The world is beginning to recognize the value of India, but has India recognized its own value yet? Has the people's belief caught up with the world's belief? Has the confidence on the inside matched the support that is gathering on the outside? Because when the world begins to move in your favor, you must not hesitate. You must not pause and wait for someone else to tell you that you are ready. You must know you are ready. You must step into the spaces that are opening. You must walk into the opportunities that are unfolding. And you must do it with the quiet certainty of those who have built themselves for this very moment. The silent backers are not waiting to see if India can rise. They already believe it. The only thing they are watching now is whether India believes it too. And this is not just a national story. This is your story. In your life, opportunities are moving toward you. Quiet supporters are watching you. People you have not yet met are opening doors you have not yet seen. And you must be ready to walk through them. You must believe in your value before the world declares it. You must trust in your path before anyone else validates it. Because the truth is this: the world rewards those who are first to believe in themselves. The quiet architects of change see the future before it becomes obvious, and they have seen something in India that is undeniable. They see a force that adapts. They see a nation that absorbs pressure but does not crumble. They see a population that is young, driven, ambitious. They see minds that are not afraid to question, to build, to dream bigger, and so they invest, they collaborate. They form partnerships that will shape the next generation. But they do this quietly because real power does not shout. Real power builds. There are relationships forming right now that will change the next 50 years. There are investments being made right now that will reshape entire industries. And the question is not whether you can be part of it. The question is whether you will be ready when the door opens. The world's quiet architects do not announce themselves. They do not send invitations. They open the door and watch to see who will step through. In the silent rooms where the future is being negotiated, India's name is spoken with increasing respect. Not because India demanded it, but because India earned it. And this is your lesson. You do not have to chase applause. You do not have to beg for recognition. You simply have to build. You simply have to rise. You simply have to keep moving forward, even when no one is watching, because in truth, someone is always watching. The investors, the decision makers, the architects of the future, they see what you build in silence. This is not the time to shrink. This is not the time to hesitate. This is the time to step into the rooms where your future is already waiting. The quiet architects of change are backing India because they believe in what it is becoming, and you must believe in what you are becoming. You must build with the certainty that your time is not just coming, it is already here. The silent support is in place. The quiet alliances are moving, and now it is your move. There is always more happening than meets the eye. The game you see on the surface is never the real game. The loud speeches, the televised meetings, the public statements, they are only the front cover of a much deeper story. The real moves, the real power, the real shifts happen where most people cannot see. And right now, the most powerful game on earth is unfolding quietly with India in the center of it. There are moves being made behind the headlines. There are relationships being built in private. There are strategies being executed that most will only understand when the results are already irreversible. And this is the beauty of silent power. It works best when it is unnoticed, when it is underestimated, when it is quietly gaining ground while others are still figuring out what is happening. Behind every deal you read about, there are 10 more you will never hear. Behind every handshake on stage, there are silent commitments that shape the real direction. Behind every visible partnership, there are hidden agreements that steer the future. The world is not as it appears. There is always a deeper layer, a deeper network, a deeper influence at play, and India is playing that deeper game now. It is no longer about chasing attention. It is about building trust. It is about being the partner that others can rely on, the power that others can stand beside, the market that others cannot ignore. And this is how the game is changing. The nations, the corporations, the innovators who are backing India are doing it not just for business. They are doing it because they see India as a long-term anchor. They see consistency. They see reliability. They see a nation that will not collapse under pressure, that will not break under global storms. And when you become that reliable force, you no longer need to chase anyone. People start chasing you. Countries start negotiating to get closer to you. Corporations start aligning their futures with you, and all of this happens quietly. The power that is built in silence is always the most difficult to stop. In your life, this lesson is priceless. The loud victories are temporary. The quiet victories are permanent. It is not the noise that builds you. It is the discipline that no one sees. It is the work you do when no one is clapping, the battles you win when no one is watching, the hours you put in when no one is cheering for you. That is where the real alliances are formed. That is where your foundation becomes unshakable. Because one day people will look at you and wonder how you rose so quickly. They will wonder who was behind you, who supported you, who believed in you, and the answer will not be loud. The answer will be simple. You built in silence, you grew in the shadows, and you never stopped moving forward. India's rise is no longer a question. It is a quiet reality. And the people who truly understand power know that the loudest moves are often the weakest. It is the silent steps, the invisible deals, the unspoken agreements that carry the greatest weight. And right now, the weight is shifting toward India. Slowly, steadily, relentlessly. It is not just about growth. It is about becoming the foundation others want to stand on. And once you become that foundation, your influence becomes unstoppable. But here is the crucial part. You must be patient with the process. The quiet game takes time. Silent moves do not give you instant applause. You will build for years before people start to notice. You will work in silence before you are celebrated in public. But when the moment arrives, when the curtain is finally pulled back, the world will see that you did not rise by accident. You rose because you played the game behind the game. You made the sacrifices no one saw. You built the alliances no one heard about. You walked the lonely path with the quiet faith that your time would come. India is walking that path now, and the quiet support is not slowing down. The hidden partnerships are not fading. In fact, they are strengthening. The game is unfolding perfectly for those who can see beyond the noise, and you must learn to see it too. In your own life, learn to build what is real, not what is visible. Learn to strengthen what is lasting, not what is popular. The applause fades quickly. The silent foundations last forever. Do not be afraid to work without recognition. Do not be afraid to move without approval. The most powerful alliances are not announced. They are lived. They are built through consistency, through integrity, through relentless effort that no one records but everyone eventually respects. The world's greatest powers are watching India, not because it shouted the loudest, but because it endured the longest, because it kept showing up, because it kept moving forward when others doubted. And so, you must keep moving forward. You must build in the shadows. You must master your craft without seeking attention. Because when you play the game behind the game, when you build quietly, you position yourself for a rise that no one can reverse. The secret alliances will reveal themselves in time. The silent victories will become public eventually. But by then, you will not need to prove anything. Your growth will speak for itself. Your progress will be undeniable. And your influence will be the natural result of the work you did when no one else was watching. There comes a moment when the silent moves are no longer silent, when the hidden alliances step out of the shadows. When the power that was once behind you now stands beside you, visible, undeniable, unshakable. India is not just gathering support anymore, it is becoming the support that others seek. The silent backers who once quietly watched are now standing openly, aligning their futures, anchoring their strategies to India's momentum. And the game has changed forever. It is no longer about who is backing India. It is about who is worthy enough to stand with India. The world is shifting rapidly, and those who once doubted are now racing to catch up. But India does not wait for permission anymore. It does not ask to be included. It moves forward with the calm certainty of a nation that has already earned its place. And here is the deepest shift. It is not about being accepted. It is about choosing who to accept. It is not about proving your worth. It is about protecting it. When you become the power that others want to partner with, you no longer chase the game. You become the game. This is where true strength lives. Not in loud declarations, but in quiet, unstoppable growth. And the same applies to you. In your life, you must become so focused on building yourself, so deeply committed to your mission, that one day the people, the opportunities, the alliances you once dreamed of will come knocking, asking to stand with you. And you must be ready to decide. You must be ready to choose who is worthy of your energy, your vision, your time. Because the moment will come when you are no longer asking for a seat at the table. You will be building the table. India is building that table now. It is not just participating in the world's story. It is writing new chapters. It is not just moving toward power. It is becoming power. And those who once offered support in secret are now stepping forward because they know that India's rise is no longer a prediction. It is a fact. But this journey is not finished. This moment is not the end. It is the beginning of a much greater responsibility. Because when you become the power, you must carry the weight. When you become the foundation, you must remain unshakable. When the world begins to lean on you, you must stand stronger than ever. And here is the most dramatic truth. You are not walking into the future alone. Silent hands have lifted you. Secret alliances have cleared your path. But in the end, it is your step that matters. It is your courage that will determine whether you keep rising or fall under the weight of what you've built. And now, the door stands open. The world is watching. The stage is set. So rise. Walk forward with the weight of quiet power behind you. Walk with the force of invisible allies beside you. Walk with the certainty that your time is not coming. It is here. It is now. The world's attention is turning. The secret alliances have already chosen. The question is, will you claim what has been built for you? Will you carry it? Will you rise so high that the only thing louder than your silence is your legacy? The moment is here, and it will not wait. Walk into it, own it, become it.